how does the economic vision blueprint differ from the economic policies of other candidates? What makes it more practical?
Well, this is a 62-page document that expands the economic section in Sajid's manifesto.
Right.
We believe economics is front and center right now because we are a bankrupt country, and we need to get out of bankruptcy and a path to sustainable growth. So we didn't want to just give empty promises.
Yeah.
So therefore we broke this down to 10 sections, and we gave point by point by point what we are going to do. And we also gave time frames. So we are the only political party that has now presented a document with an action plan and a time frame. That itself, I think, shows that we are serious. Okay? And everything here is pretty much costed. So first thing is transparency and accountability.
Yeah.
You see, everybody is talking about corruption. We need to rid corruption. We all agree.
Yeah.
Now, to us, it is a necessary condition for growth, but it is not a sufficient condition for growth.
Yeah.
It is necessary, but not sufficient.
Only one cog in the wheel.
That's right. So basically, with the DPI and strengthening the institutions and bringing in new laws. For instance, we are talking here about, your listeners would be interested to know, to remove the conflict of interest between the Attorney General's office and the judicial process when you are sort of prosecuting a politician or a high official. Yeah. Because till the date that you are being prosecuted, the Attorney General was your advisor. So there's a massive conflict of interest there.
Exactly.
So what we have said very clearly is we are going to change the structure and we are going to create an independent prosecutor's office.
Yeah.
So there is no political handling of these cases. So I mean, just one example. But then the first thing is, how do we stabilize the economy? I spoke, when you asked me the question, first thing we need to do, right?
Yeah.
Restructure the debt, look at interest rates, look at
taxation,
all that tax expense. Then the third section is we talk about growth, which is really what we need to achieve if we want to take people out of poverty and take this country to where it belongs. We talked a bit about agriculture.
Yeah.
What is also in here in fair detail is what we plan for industry. How we want to integrate with the global manufacturing network.
Yeah.
Now if you look at south of India, every investor is there. Elon Musk is also setting up. You look at places like Tamil Nadu, you look at Karnataka, Kerala, you look at Telangana, Andhra. According to Deloitte, Tamil Nadu itself is going to be $1 trillion economy in the next sort of 8 years.
All by themselves.
All by themselves, right? So there is a massive industrial enterprise that is getting created there. And it is quite possible that we can become part of that production network, right? And also, if you look at, this is my famous example, my iPhone is made in 43 countries and my country is not part of it, right? So when we talked about jobs in the earlier segment, we talked about accountants and office staff, the jobs will be
based on
electronics. And since the demise of Mr. Premadasa, we haven't got any new industry here.
Yeah.
And the zones which was he created by him.
Yeah. For 18 years, I think we've created just a couple of zones, and we have only one private zone, which is the MAS textile
on the Coronagala Road.
That's right.
Yeah.
Whereas countries that are competing with us in the sort of 80%, 90%, 95% even are private zones. We have one private zone. Now these private zones bring, say, the entire investment probably may come from, say, Samsung or so Apple or Tesla.
Yeah.
So you have to create those opportunities. And in order to do that, we have to open our minds. We are stuck ideologically, thinking that, protecting our domestic industry.
We are the frog in the well here.
Frog in the well, right? So, I mean, let's take some companies, big apparel firms. I don't want to name names, but we all know. They are domestic companies.
Yeah.
They are local entrepreneurs.
Yes.
But they're global brands,
Yeah.
right? So, what we want to create are global giants, but positioned
Sri Lanka.
Yeah.
Sri Lanka global brand.
That's what, so may not even be brands, to be honest with you.
Or
because-
even just producers.
Yeah, so we have to become part, we have to join the club. If you don't join the club, you don't get the same services of them, what the other members get.
Sure.
Right? But then you can't complain staying outside.
Yeah.
We don't get the benefits of membership because we are not a member.
Yeah.
We are not a member of any trade bloc.
And now we have to play catch up as well, because the other emerging countries like Vietnam and Cambodia, those countries which was not on the horizons before, and now they are big dominants in the world.
That's right. I mean, look at those countries. They went from, basic, simple production, apparels and stuff. They went to toys, they went to radios, they went to TVs, they went to computers, they went to phones.
Yep.
Now they're into high tech. But us, what happened?
Singapore is probably the best example.
Yeah, but you remember the chart that I was referring to earlier.
Yes.
Since 1994, these are facts. We have gone down.
Yeah.
We have isolated ourselves. As a matter of fact, we are one of the closest countries in the world. Would you believe me?
Yeah.
Right? We people say open economy ruined us, but we are one of the closest. It's the easiest way to measure this. Is anyone can Google it. Is you add up exports and imports and divide that by GDP,
Yep.
and you see that ratio has been coming down
Drastically.
Yeah, in the last 20 years, right, exports have fallen from about 30% of GDP to 15% of GDP. So we are going in the wrong direction. So what we are saying in industry is we must become players in global production networks. Then in services, we talk a lot about logistics. We are the center of this ocean.
Definitely.
We are the center of the ocean.
Nerve center.
Right? And we are punching way below our weight class.
Yeah.
We have to punch way above our weight class. If you want to create a dynamic trade hub here, going back to Parakramabahu, the great days in the 12th century, he fought wars with Southeast Asian kings because he wanted to protect his trade, right? We traded elephants and
route,
things like that.
yeah,
Right?
yeah.
You know the stories from, from millennia.
Yeah.
So how do we leverage that? And in my view, to do that, we also have to look at our role in the Indian Ocean in terms of security. I think we have to become players in the naval arena, right? We have to say, look, we are a country that matters, right? And we have the harbors, all of that. The big story about logistics. And in IT and other services, tourism is a low, easy to leverage.
Sure.
Then the last part is about equity, social justice. When Mr. Gotabaya Rajapaksa came, we had 3 million people in poverty. Do you know how many people are in poverty today? Jimmy?
Enlighten us.
Please.
Okay, so when Gotabaya Rajapaksa came, 3 million people were in poverty. Today, 7 million.
Wow.
People listening to this probably won't know this.
Amazing.
Poverty means this. A lot of our folks listening here might be going to the gym, walking, running, jogging in the morning because they want to lose calories. Poverty here is defined as unable to spend enough money to get 2,000. No.
3 meals.
No. Just to get 2,030 kilocalories a day.
Oh, my goodness.
2,030 calories. That's what, one meal, pretty much, one and a half meals.
Yeah. So 7 million. So we got to make sure that we address those issues. I mean, otherwise you can't have stability in this country.
A healthy nation.
Yeah, I mean, social.
Exactly.
It's
a downer, isn't it, in every aspect?
Yeah, so So here we talk about a new janavia type program where we just don't want to hand out cash, but to have a mechanism where
they'll appreciate it.
Yeah, I mean, we won't give cash. I mean, we will give cash, but they'll have to. That's right. They have to show something in return. Am I going to a vocational training institute and learning how to become skilled? You know, am I going to learn English? Am I going to, start a small business? You know, am I going to become an entrepreneur? Am I going to, join some company? I'll acquire the skill to do that. So it will be based on the contribution that the household makes, and it's centered around the woman in the household, the mother or the daughter or the wife.
Yeah.
Right. So this blueprint is different to every other plan because it gives in great detail and timelines and action points as to what we are going to do, and it comes with the backing of our entire economics team, including Kabir, including Iran and many others, as people who have delivered in the past. We didn't come to politics as 20-year-olds. We came to politics in our 40s after we became successful in whatever careers we've had.
Yeah.
Right?
You didn't come into politics to make money.
No, I mean, I came into politics after I ensured that my family is stable.
Yeah.
Right? And I have my own enterprises, which
you're comfortable with.
I am comfortable. I haven't changed my lifestyle. You know that. The Friday night drink and to be able to enjoy all of that. I mean, just because I do politics doesn't mean that I have to give up on things that I do.
Shake a leg a bit here and there. And just let me touch on something that I spoke earlier on, Nathan. We did mention that your party has the only party which we see has the short, middle, and long-term plan.
Yeah.
If you can just touch on those 3 points.
Yeah. So that's what I'm saying. So everything has a time frame, right? I mean, what are the interventions, and each intervention will have a time frame, right? So under each point that we spoke about, the 10 points, will be action plans and time frames. So like you see here, right? All these different things that we refer to. Now, for instance, in rationalizing public expenditure, this is what I say: data-driven planning. Within the public finance management framework, implement a robust medium-term expenditure framework using reliable forecasts and risk analysis to guide expenditure decisions based on sound data and future considerations. Right, so that has a short-term deliverable and a medium-term deliverable.
In its own.
Right? So like that, every action point. Now, for instance, here we talk about on revenue.
Yeah.
Unified Revenue Authority. Establish a revenue authority incorporated in the Inland Revenue Department and subsequently Customs and Excise Departments. Right? In the medium term, such an entity will enhance professionalism and efficiency of revenue collection, and in due course, it would become a separate government service with salary levels on par with the Central Bank of Sri Lanka.
Right.
That's a medium term deliverable.
Right.
So, like that,
there are various deliveries on various aspects as well.
Yeah.
Super.
Also, Dr. Harsha, do you have a response to President Wickremesinghe's claim that the election manifesto and the economic blueprint do not go hand in hand and are two separate things?
No. Yeah. RW is, he is known for these things, He actually called me and asked, Sasha, where is the blueprint? I said, wait, sir, it's coming. Just waiting to hit it. But he can't find any holes in it. Other than to say, look, it is different to the manifesto. Well, like I said, the blueprint is an economics document. This 62 pages.
It's a clear-cut thing, isn't it?
Which myself, Kabir and Iran take full responsibility for every word in this. Right? The blueprint was prepared by the economics unit. It says, this document does not include in-depth views on reforms in critical areas such as education, health, justice, and other aspects. So we have concentrated this only on the economics.
Right.